Good morning, everybody. We're back on the cleanup job from where we're picking up after the loggers came through and did their part. Now we're here doing our part. We've been hired to pick up the majority of the ground covering that was left behind, which is mostly they call it slash, or the tops and the limbs from the trees. When they cut them down, all they really want is the logs, which is the trunk of the tree to most people. So I'm going to talk a little bit this morning about the difference in logging and land clearing. Alright, I've been running into a lot of customers calling me here lately, and they have me come and look at their property because they say that their loggers left them in a mess. And I think a lot of that is because people don't really know the difference. They think that they're going to call a logging company and the loggers are going to come in and clear it. And that's just not the case. The way logging works primarily is you own a tract of land, and it is forested. It has a lot of trees on it, and you call a logger to come in and they assess what you have on your property as far as all the types of trees and a rough amount of what those trees are worth. And what they do is they go in and they cut the trees down, and a lot of times when the tree hits the ground, they delimit right there and push it off to the sides of the logging road, which is just a skid road that's put through the woods, and they drag the logs out to where they can load them on trucks. So you end up with slash piles, and that's what people call the mess. Well, in logging, you get a percentage of what the mill ends up paying for the logs, and it works really well for a lot of customers. The only thing that makes it tough is that people don't really understand what they're getting, and just like any other business, a lot of loggers will lead. Now, I'm not saying majority, I'm saying a lot of loggers will lead somebody to think that they're going to clean up better than they are. And then again, it could be that a customer assumes that the logger's going to do a full cleanup or whatever. It can go both ways. Miscommunications in any type of operation like this happen. And the best thing is to get everything in writing to protect you as a contractor and the customer. You don't want it to be a bad experience. So that's the gist of logging. They come in, they take the logs, you make a little money on it. You're not going to get a full cleanup. You're going to be left with a lot of sticks, a lot of limbs, and after they pull off the job, you can have somebody like me who likes doing the cleanup. You know, that's kind of what I prefer. And before we get into exactly what I like to do, let's talk about somebody who clears land. When you call somebody, let's say here in the Asheville area, there's a pretty good market for clearing land, and it can go, if it's wooded and you're having trees removed, you can have a heavily wooded acre, which is 209 feet by 209 feet, totally cleared. You can have the trees taken off, they clean the ground debris, which is from the years and years since it was last cleared, if ever, down to dirt. You're left with the bare dirt, no stumps, and you don't have anything clean up. It's ready for grass. And when you call somebody who clears land, that's primarily what they're going to do. Now, I'm not saying this is the case in every single deal, and every contractor is different. They offer different services. We will go in and just log a property, but I prefer to clear it and leave it looking really nice at the end. Now you think a lot of that slash and ground debris is bad. It's not. It creates a habitat for all kinds of animals. So you can't look at logging as being a bad thing every time. You know, now if they log it out, they push their brush into piles and don't replant, then that can be a bad thing, because then you could have an erosion problem, especially here in the mountains. So you really need to educate yourself and have a good long conversation with your contractor as to what you're wanting done. Now when you go to clear a piece of land, most of the time, those contractors want to get in, clear it as fast as they can and get out. And there's a good chance they're going to want to keep everything that's made on the logs to cover some of their fuel costs, and that's fine, that works out. It just depends on your end goal, what you want to be the end result, you know. And like this customer in particular, what it is he thought that the loggers were going to do more of a cleanup, and whether it was a miscommunication or differences in vocabulary, just differences in what the logger probably thought that he might have been doing a good cleanup. I don't know. I know the customer felt like that he was misled a little bit and that they didn't follow through. They did follow the timber company that actually, I guess, bought the track, not the loggers, but the timber company. Did come in and fix this road up nice, and that's one thing that's usually the deal, and something you need to be prepared to get the loggers to agree to, or the timber company, with the traffic that comes with logging or land clearing. There's a lot of heavy trucks, and they will beat a gravel road up, and they'll beat up a paved road if it's not a good one pretty badly. So a lot of times that's just in the contract, that they'll restore the road to the condition it was in. So you just need to do the best you can to get as clear of an understanding as to what your particular contractor is going to do for you. Miscommunications are the biggest problem in this kind of work, because a mess to me is usually not a mess. When I go in and clean up after a logging operation and they're like, oh, they left me in a horrible mess, it usually looks the same. Just about every logging company leaves it the same way. This one was a little bit worse, but not so bad that I feel like it was much out of the ordinary for logging. And I'm sure there'll be some people, I hope some people comment, you know, contractors and customers, you know, just homeowners alike, so we can address some of these questions. But really it comes down to, you know, it's your responsibility as a homeowner to make sure you're understanding what you're getting and what you're asking for. I like doing this. I think this is a good way to do it, because you're not calling somebody in who's going into it thinking they got a log and then they got to stump and grub it, which is when we go in and pull all the stumps and the roots out. Like right now, what I'm doing is I dig pits in areas that are not going to be usable. Like there's a little, almost like a spring down here. So this area is not ever going to be good for building. So I dug a pit, and what was left of my ground rakings, which is mostly dirt. The majority of it was dirt, some sticks, small roots and twigs mixed in. And I dug it pretty deep and buried it. And it will rot over time, and that's why I'm gonna leave this area kind of pumped up a little bit. And that way, as it rots, it'll end up being flat. There won't be a whole lot to rot, simply because it's mostly dirt, like I say. But this is some red clay. You talk about red dirt. We're not wearing clothes, you want to be walking around playing in this stuff. So I'm just kind of dressing this ground a little bit, getting it the way that I want. As I was saying, I think that one of the best ways is to hire people that are specialized in what they do. And by that I mean, you know, hire somebody that logs. They got the right equipment for the logging. And then, you know, that you might get a logger that does a great cleanup. And if they don't, then you can call somebody like me who does the finish work. And this is kind of my specialty. Now, if they wanted this ground that's totally cleared, not a stick on it, and then hydro seeded and have a perfect lawn, we can do that. But that's not the goal of this individual. His goal is to just, he got it logged, and the next step will be he's going to plant some fruit trees, I think. So I've just got to get this essentially ready to be replanted with just trees. That'll be easy to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. This type of operation just depending on how far it is from home and what it costs me to transport it. You can figure anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a day. For me, have my truck on site and the excavator. I don't charge more. I know some people charge about $2,000 a day, but let's face it, I can only run one machine at a time. Why would I charge full price for both? I work alone. I don't have a bunch of overhead or anything. And it's always funny because some people can be like, oh, $1,500 a day, that's robbery. And then some people think it's a steal. They think it's great. So it comes down to the individual. Got our fire going again. But yeah, that's the one thing I really want to touch on today. Because I hate it when somebody feels like they got cheated or ripped off, and they call me and they're kind of talking down about the previous contractor, and they do use the terminology that describes what they got, and I have to tell them, well, you know, this is what you asked for, you know, you just didn't use the right terminology, and that's not the contractor's fault. What I'm doing here is just kind of back dragging, knocking the high spots down on my ground here. A little bit at a time. This clay can be a little bit persnickety on finishing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video as because I really want it to be focused on the whole knowing the difference between logging and land clearing. I think a lot of people probably search for that. So you guys have a great day. I'm going to do some more videos of the cleanup. And if you have any questions about the difference in logging, land clearing, feel free to drop me a comment. As always, like and subscribe.